Lawyers practicing labor and employment law handle a wide range of legal issues that arise in the relationship between employers and managers and employees and unions. When representing their clients, labor and employment lawyers rely upon the exclusive content and resources that are found on Lexis Advance. Today, I'm going to show you how to find and use this exclusive content and these resources. My name is Heather Caro, and I'm your Lexis research attorney. I have now worked for Lexis for over 7 years after graduating from Loyola Law in New Orleans. Prior to working for Lexis, though, I did hold a 1-year judicial clerkship, and it was during that year stint that I was able to view the practice of law from a judge's perspective and truly realize the importance of legal research, and maybe even more notably, how important it is to be as efficient as possible when it comes to researching. From drafting opinions to writing interoffice memoranda to researching issues in real time while a case was being heard, I polished my researching skills, and it is my job to now share that knowledge with you. In this video, I will show you the labor and employment law materials available on Lexis Advance, including the exclusive content and sources that are relied upon by seasoned attorneys practicing in this area. I will show you how to, first, begin your search using the Labor and Employment Practice Center and Lexis Advance. Second, get a background on labor and employment topics using a treatise. And third, leveraging the Lexis Practice Advisor labor and employment resources. However, first, let me provide you with a little background on labor and employment law. These are two distinct legal practices. Labor attorneys primarily work with unions and collective bargaining, and employment attorneys work with companies and at-will employees with issues such as discrimination or family leave. After watching this video, you will know how to quickly locate the best resources for both of these practice areas. The resources that I will show on Lexis Advance are critical to attorneys practicing labor and employment law. LexisNexis is the leading provider of legal research in law firms, courts, federal agencies, and corporations. In fact, 94% of the AmLaw 100 law firms and 80% of the AmLaw 200 have online research contracts with Lexis, and those are the largest firms in the country. We have long-term contracts with U.S. federal courts and the JAG Corps, and in addition, almost 80% of federal agencies use LexisNexis, including the Department of Justice and the IRS. Additionally, over 4,000 corporations are LexisNexis customers. Finally, this includes 55% of the Fortune 500 and 19 of the top 20 companies. Labor and employment attorneys across the world rely upon the content and resources available in Lexis Advance, so why shouldn't you? So let's get started and begin with Lexis Advance. To access your Lexis Advance account, simply go to www.lexisadvance.com and log in with your user credentials. So to conduct your research on Lexis Advance, as you're already familiar, you can either use the red search box at the top of the page, or you can use the LexisNexis Labor and Employment Practice Center. The Labor and Employment Practice Center organizes all of the top content related to that particular area of law. So to access the practice page on Lexis Advance, go to the drop-down in the top left-hand corner of the screen and click on Browse. Then we'll select Practice Centers, and we're going to search by practice area or industry, and scroll through that list until you see Labor and Employment. We'll begin by noting that you can research across all materials in this top red search box, or you can even come down to top sources on the left-hand side of the screen to search for individual sources under this particular area of law. The third way that you can search on this Practice Center page is by key topics. So if you wish to research discrimination, under key topics, we would just go down, click on discrimination, and from there, you will have the choice to get documents, create a topic alert, or view a topic index. Today, we will choose Get Documents. This will then give us access to all cases, statutes, secondary materials, briefs, pleadings, and motions, and everything else that can then be filtered just like online shopping with the options on the left-hand side of the screen. To get to the seminal cases and a strong understanding of this topic, though, we're going to go ahead and use secondary materials. So we'll come up to the left-hand side of the screen and select secondary materials. By using secondary sources, we will quickly get to the seminal cases and have a strong understanding of the topic that we're researching. One of the most common secondary sources is a treatise. Treatises are written by legal experts, so by searching in a treatise, you can quickly and easily get expert guidance on your topic that will help you understand the law and point you to the important cases, statutes, and regulations that you need. Beginning here will save you time and make your subsequent searches much more efficient. So let's take a look at a treatise. To do that, we're going to go down to the filters on the left-hand side of the screen, and under category, you can select the topic treatises to narrow it down to just that type of content within our secondary materials. Take note that the treatises remaining in our results list cover both state and federal employment issues. Again, filters and search within results on the left-hand side of the screen can be used to efficiently narrow your results so you can find your answer quickly. Additionally, you can even narrow by a particular source. So if we scroll down to sources and then select Larson on Employment Discrimination, that will take us to a source that is regularly cited by courts. So let's go ahead and click on the first result for Larson on Employment, section 1.01. Once you open up a particular treatise section and you start to read through the document itself, you'll notice that you have links that will drop you down directly to the footnotes. So if you click on any of those little arrows and those green boxes, it takes us down to the footnotes, which is where you will find links for seminal cases and significant statutes, so you don't have to waste a ton of time reading hundreds of cases to simply piece together the issue that you're researching. Essentially, Larson has synthesized all of that information for you. So you can see how using practice centers to quickly locate relevant resources is extremely helpful for attorneys that are specializing in a particular field. In fact, whenever I do trainings at law firms, a lot of times I do see attorneys who will have these practice centers set as a starting point for their research. So every time that they log into their Lexis Advanced account, they just have these top resources at their fingertips from the get-go. So to show you how to set a practice center page as your start page, and also just as a recap on how to access these practice centers, I'm going to go ahead and walk through those steps again. So we're going to go back to the top of the page, or to the top of that document. Over here in the top Browse drop-down menu, we would select Practice Centers by practice area or industry, and then scroll down into Labor and Employment. Once that practice center opens, you'll notice at the top of that page, there's a link for Actions, and that is where you'll be able to set this as your home page. So this is the Actions drop-down menu that I was referring to up at the top left-hand corner of the screen. And if you click on that little drop-down arrow, you'll notice the first option is to click Make this my research start page. So by selecting that, the next time you open your Lexis Advanced account, this would actually be the home screen that you see rather than having to go through Browse to get to that particular practice center. Now we are going to look for a little bit further guidance by using Lexis Practice Advisor. Lexis Practice Advisor is a valuable resource for transactional work. It contains practical guidance, forms, cases, legislative materials, and even secondary materials. It's organized by topic and aligned with the workflow of a transactional attorney. The practical guidance is drafted by experts in that particular field, and the forms incorporate the guidance of those expert attorneys in the form of drafting notes and alternative or optional clauses. So to access Lexis Practice Advisor, simply come to the top left-hand side of the screen, click on the drop-down menu, go down and select Lexis Practice Advisor. Once that populates, you would then want to select the particular practice area that you wanted to focus on. So if I come down in this drop-down menu, I can select Labor and Employment, and that is where we will see all of the resources available that you can use on Lexis Practice Advisor that are organized by task for your particular area of law. So let's stick with the same topic that we were researching through the Lexis Practice Center, and let's just say that now your task still involves discrimination. So under the taskbar over here on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see all of the topics that are discussed throughout this particular module. Third down from the top is discrimination. And from that drop-down list, we'll go ahead and select Equal Employment Opportunity Laws and Protections. Once that opens, this essentially gives us access to all of the forms, practice notes, secondary sources, cases, regulations, and statutes that quickly and easily answer our questions. So if we scroll through that list to see all of the forms that are available, one that you'll notice toward the bottom is the Equal Employment Opportunity Policy with Acknowledgement. Let's go ahead and open up that form so you can see what it looks like. You'll notice that this form is editable, so you can customize it directly in Lexis Advance. And so as you're scrolling through the document, any field that can be edited, if you simply click on that box, an edit field will populate and you can insert the information that's required for that particular part of the document or form. The other route that you can go is to come to the About This Document box on the right-hand side of the screen and click on Quick Download so you can download this as a Word document and edit it at a later time. Beneath that, you'll notice a Drafting Notes section that will allow you to get an excellent overview because experts who have drafted this form actually explain why they worded it the way that they did. Beneath that, you'll also notice a link that will take you to the alternate and optional clauses, and that shows you other clauses that could be inserted into the document. And that essentially just gives you the flexibility to tailor the documents that will meet your specific client's needs. So as you can see, Lexis Practice Advisor provides you with all of the resources that you need to work as a labor and employment attorney. Finally, if you have any questions about using Lexis Advance for labor and employment tasks or any other legal research question you may have, you can always reach out to me, any of your student representatives, and of course you can always get help 24/7 by calling our research attorneys at customer support. The other option that you have for limited hours is to come over to the More drop-down menu at the top right-hand side of the screen. And third from the bottom, click on Live Support. There you can online chat with our customer support attorneys. If you needed additional information about how to contact the 1-800 number or your student reps at your particular school, over here where we accessed Lexis Practice Advisor, in that drop-down menu, simply go down, click on Lexis for Law Schools. And that will take you over to the law school home portal for your particular school. And if you scroll to the bottom of that screen, you'll get information on how you can contact me, the 1-800-45-LEXIS number that's available 24/7, as well as contact information for all of the student reps at your particular school. You now know how to, number one, on Lexis Advance, begin your research using the Labor and Employment Practice Center. Second, get background information on labor and employment topics using a treatise. And third, leveraging Lexis Practice Advisor labor and employment resources. If you're interested in further training information, or if you have any other questions about researching on Lexis Advance, please don't hesitate contacting me. Thank you.